It's 165 AD, and you live in Rome, at the center of the largest, most powerful empire the world has ever known. The city hums with the confidence of a place that has never really lost. Legions are stationed on 3 continents. Aqueducts feed public baths that never run dry. Grain ships arrive from Egypt like clockwork. If you had to pick any moment in history to be alive, most people around you would tell you this is close to the best one. Word reaches Rome that a Roman army, home from a campaign in the east, is marching back through the empire's cities on its way to the capital. This is normal. Soldiers travel, wars end, legions come home. Nobody thinks twice about it. Except this time, the soldiers are carrying something that isn't supposed to be part of the homecoming. It starts small, the way these things always do. A soldier in one of the eastern garrisons falls ill with a high fever. Then another, then several in the same unit. Nobody's alarmed. Armies get sick. Illness has always traveled with soldiers, in cramped camps and shared water. The physicians attending them note the symptoms, but there's no reason yet to think this is anything other than a bad but ordinary outbreak, the kind that burns through a camp and fades. But it doesn't fade. It follows the army home. As the legions march west along Roman roads, through Roman cities, staying in Roman garrisons, the illness moves with them, step by step, city by city. This is the empire's greatest strength, its greatest advantage, the network of roads and trade routes in interconnected cities that let Rome move armies, grain, and information faster than any civilization before it. And that same network is now the fastest possible delivery system for whatever this is. By the time the army approaches Rome itself, the disease already has a foothold in cities along the route. Nobody in the empire has any concept of a virus, a bacterium, a pathogen. There's no germ theory, no microscopes, nothing that could explain how something invisible could travel faster than anyone could stop it. When people get sick and don't know why, they reach for the explanations they have. The anger of the gods, bad air, a curse. The illness announces itself with a fever, and it doesn't let go for over a week. Around the 5th or 6th day, the skin starts to erupt. Small red sores appear across the body, sometimes covering the face, the torso, the limbs, dark and eventually crusting over into scabs. Physicians attending the sick describe black or dark red rashes covering the body, sores in the mouth and throat making it agony to swallow, and a smell that some doctors of the time note as a distinct, awful part of the illness. Diarrhea and coughing come with it, and the illness seems to attack from every direction at once. For a significant number of the infected, roughly 1 in 4, this is fatal. In dense cities, in army camps, in poor households where multiple generations sleep in a single room, the odds get worse. Nobody has anything close to a treatment. Physicians try what they know. Rest, isolation when possible, herbal remedies, prayers and offerings to the gods, bleeding the patient. None of it meaningfully changes the outcome. By the time the army reaches Rome, the disease arrives with it, in a capital of over 1 million people, packed into apartment blocks stacked 6 stories high, with public spaces designed to bring huge numbers of people into close contact every single day. The baths, the markets, the theaters, the very infrastructure that makes Roman city life so remarkable, all of it becomes a mechanism for spreading the illness further and faster. Within the city, panic starts as confusion. People wake up healthy and are dead within 2 weeks. Entire households fall ill within days of each other. The temples fill with people making offerings, desperate for an explanation, desperate for it to stop. Some historians of the era will later write about how the strange, indiscriminate nature of the deaths, striking the wealthy and the poor, the young and old with no apparent pattern, feels less like an ordinary illness and more like a punishment being handed down from somewhere else. The dead pile up faster than the city's normal systems can process them. Rome has burial customs, funeral rites, processions, the expectation that the dead are honored properly. Those systems are built for a normal death rate. They are not built for this. Cart after cart moves through the streets, carrying bodies to mass graves because there is no time, no space, and increasingly no manpower left for individual burials. It is described by writers of the period as bodies being carried out of the city by the cartload. The disease doesn't stay in Rome. It moves out along the same roads that made the empire so powerful in the first place, reaching Roman Egypt, Roman Gaul, all the way to the Rhine frontier, where Roman legions are stationed against Germanic tribes. Wherever Roman roads go, wherever Roman soldiers, merchants, and administrators travel, the illness follows within weeks or months. An empire that spans from Britain to Mesopotamia offers almost no barrier at all. The military bears an enormous cost. Legions stationed on the frontiers, already thin from ongoing wars, lose soldiers to disease faster than they can be replaced through normal recruitment. At the worst points, some units are reportedly so depleted that commanders resort to conscripting gladiators and even freed slaves just to keep the frontier defended, because there simply aren't enough able-bodied men left in the usual pool. Two emperors ruled jointly at this point, Marcus Aurelius and Lucius Verus, sharing power in a system designed to keep the empire stable. Lucius Verus, who commanded the army that most likely carried the plague home from the east, dies within a few years of the outbreak beginning, and while the exact cause isn't confirmed with certainty by every source, the timing puts his death squarely inside the plague years. Marcus Aurelius, philosopher and emperor, spends much of the rest of his reign fighting wars on the northern frontier with an army thinned by disease, in a treasury strained by the same crisis, while privately writing the reflections on mortality and endurance that will later become known as his Meditations. The plague doesn't arrive, peak, and vanish in a single dramatic wave. It settles into the empire instead, flaring for roughly 2 years at its worst, then continuing on and off for over a decade, wearing down the population, the economy, and the military in ways that are hard to see all at once, but devastating over time. Farms lose the labor to work them. Tax revenue drops because there are fewer people alive to tax. Trade slows because there are fewer merchants, fewer buyers, fewer functioning markets. By the time it's finally over, sometime around 180 AD, estimates from historians and epidemiologists put the total dead somewhere between 5 and 10 million people, in an empire whose entire population was likely under 70 million. In some cities, entire streets, entire neighborhoods are simply gone, their populations wiped out or scattered. There is no name for what caused it yet, no understanding of contagion the way we think of it now. Physicians of the era, most notably a doctor named Galen, who personally witnessed the outbreak in Rome and later fled the city, will leave behind descriptions of the fever, the rash, and the course of the illness detailed enough that centuries later, historians and scientists studying his writing will conclude this was very likely smallpox, one of the deadliest diseases in human history, tearing through a population that had never encountered it before and had no immunity to draw on. And it happened not despite the empire's greatest achievement, its roads, its cities, its ability to move people and armies across thousands of miles, but because of it, the very system that made Rome unstoppable, becoming, for over a decade, the reason nothing could stop what came home with the soldiers.